Elon and Trump are in trouble. I guarantee it. This is going to be a little long, so listen to it. I made this especially for YouTube because the other social medias don't always allow me to say stuff, especially TikTok. Listen, they stole this election together. And they came up in this son of a bitch and decided that they were going to do exactly as they planned. There are people who didn't believe black people, like the Arabs, the Palestinians, like the Palestinian protesters, like white women who could have voted for Kamala, who's either sat out the election or voted against her, who didn't believe that this person was real and that they would come in and do this. And now you know. Even people who are hardcore Trumpers are like, wait a minute, hold on, you messing with what money? What about those firefighters who supported Trump, who are 911 firefighters? Now they have no funding. FOP, who supported this fool, and now they're in trouble too. Not to mention the insult it makes to the nation's police when you release 1,500 people who absolutely attacked the police. They were so violent that a few have gone back to jail. They're so violent that one was even unalived because he was in an excursion with the police. With the police. This is the type of person you have. If you wanted to fuck around and find out, well, you fucked around and now you're finding out. Here's what you need to do from this fucking point on. Join us in this battle against them. That don't make you liberals. That don't make you Democrats or leftists or anything. That just simply makes you a person who disagrees what this guy and both of them, Trump and Elon, are about. That means that we need your help to jump in. Now, who is fighting back in this fight of Elon taking over all these agencies illegally? Well, the judicial branch is ringed in a little bit with Hakeem Jeffries, minority leader, behind him, saying, you can't shut down departments. And Trump said, well, I'm president. I can. He said, no, you can't. You got to be able to do a fact finding. He said, well, it was fraud. He said, yeah, but you got to do a fraud investigation. And he did set up a fraud investigation on, for instance, Treasury Department and some other ones. But the results come in April 1st. So you can't shut it down. You can't do that. And the Supreme Court is standing on business. Here's the thing about the judicial branch. Do you know that 90+% of the cases that go through the courts in general are not Supreme Court? And do you know that the lower courts are either balanced or liberal? That's the good news. That's why we got judges blocking birthright citizenship, which you can't do because it's against the law because you have to change the Constitution, and blocking freezing trillions of dollars last week. You even had 2 judges doing that. Like, no, that's why they rescinded, White House rescinded and stepped back. They're testing everything. But the judicial branch is stepping up, and thank God for them. In addition to that, we have the governors and the attorney generals from states like here where I'm at in Chicago, where thank God for Pritzker and the attorney general for suing these motherfuckers over everything from birthright citizenship, anything going on with deportations, anything going on with freezing money. And they're going to sue over this latest round of shutting down departments. Believe it. Believe it. There's already 2 Treasury unions, employee unions to the Treasury, who've already started lawsuits suing the Trump administration over this, saying you cannot shut down our department. You cannot grab sensitive data inside the Treasury Department and let a guy who's not even cleared for that government-wise, he can't get clearance. That's what Trump and Elon know. He couldn't even get clearance with the Air Force. He can't get clearance. And he's illegally shutting stuff down and accessing data that he's not supposed to have. Now, anybody else, they'd be coming in cuffs with him. So we're looking at a scenario where we're fighting back through the judicial branch and federal judges. We're fighting back through our Democratic AGs and our governors. We're also fighting back through the American Civil Liberties unions and unions like we just talked about, the Treasury. The Treasury employment unions, because they're fighting back, and we need them to fight back and sue. We're also fighting back through groups like Indivisible. Big shout out to Leah and Ezra, who have this great group where you get tens to hundreds to even millions of people reaching out to Congress. We need to help people by doing the following, at the very least. Know who your two senators in the House of Representatives is. Now, if you don't know who that is, all you got to do is Google it. Just Google it. You'll find it. Here's the other thing you need to do. You need to make sure, once you know who they are, send them an email. And the email needs to go, I have a problem. Please help me, or I have a problem with, let me be very specific. I have a problem with Trump's policies. And then list the policies and then wait for them to hit you back. And I guarantee you they'll hit you back. Now, you might be in a red state, and that's why you want to join Indivisible, because they got scripts on how to even talk to red state people. But you know what? Even if you're in a red state, reach out to them anyway. Your two senators, your House of Representatives, let them know you're concerned. Because here's the real deal. A lot of Republican senators are very concerned. They're very worried. They got issues. They got major issues with this shit. You are not alone. You are not alone. They're afraid of the blowback, but somebody's going to have to take some for the team, and they're going to have to stand together and say, no, you cannot step over the legislative branch and decide what you're going to do with your Elon friend, who doesn't have any kind of credentials whatsoever to get access to $6 trillion and other departments. There's going to be a need for them to step up. Democrats are doing what they can do, but here's the weird part. They have this 50-page bill that you haven't heard hardly anything about. 50-page bill, the Republicans, to cut Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, Obamacare, veterans benefits. Why haven't they been working on that? Maybe they have behind the scenes, but here's the weird thing. Do you know Congress hasn't been in session since the first week of inauguration? It's been 3 weeks now. We're on the third week. They have not been in session. Jasmine Carkin pointed that out on MSNBC. It's a weird thing. They're shutting it down so they can try to shut down government without Congress getting together to fight back. They're trying to step through the legislative branch, and they're assuming because the Supreme Court is conservative that they're going to side with them. But here's the thing. Many times federal judges who are in lower courts can ban your shit, which is what happened with birthright citizenship and with freezing trillions of dollars. They're a disaster, a walking clusterfuck, but our judicial system is fighting back. Our governors and AGs are fighting back, and independent groups like the Treasury Employment Union and the ACLU and Indivisible and a whole bunch of others like Move On and Mobilize, they're all fighting back. So it is happening. What you have to do is get deep into the focal part of making sure that you're fighting back. And how are you fighting back? By reaching out to your two senators and your Congress. But that shit really does work. How do we know? How do we know? I used to hear that all the time. I'm 54. I used to hear that throughout my life. And I'm like, yeah, man, let's see. No, it works because it avoided the shutdown. We poured hundreds of thousands of emails towards Congress on both sides. And they realized the shit is about to hit the fan. It's about to hit the fan. And some people say, well, we should be protesting in the streets more. Maybe, yeah, but start with that email. That is some straight up concrete proof they can see. And then on top of that, what I want you to understand, out of all of this, everything I'm talking about, there's some core things. I'm here in Chicago, as you know, and our county president and our mayors are set to fight anything, whether it be deportation or anything else that's coming through that they don't like, and they're prepared to sue. We're in this together. Regionally and locally, we're kicking ass. Because remember this, no matter how, this is a decentralized government. Kamala Harris voters, this is a decentralized government. This is these United States. And boy, we united. Remember that. Even though we don't have every state that's blue, we do have the choice states that are blue, the big popular states that are blue, Illinois, New York, California, the whole Northeast. Those are some numbers. They may not be everybody, but those are some fucking numbers. Here's the thing we got in Texas and Florida that they don't talk about. Do you realize in Texas and Florida, almost every single major city and the county that those cities are in are blue and Democratic? Yeah. So for instance, Texas, we're talking about everything from Dallas, Fort Worth area to Austin to Houston to San Antonio. Yes, blue. In Florida, Tampa Bay, yes, Tampa Bay, St. Petersburg, Gainesville, Miami, Orlando, Fort Lauderdale. I'm telling you, even though you may have the state, we still have blue concentrations where that shit ain't about to permeate. Everybody's got strategies they putting together to fight these Trump policies. So we are in the fight, and I know it's very, very frustrating. But what you got to do, and I keep saying this, is reach out to your 2 senators and House of Representatives. Let them know what the fuck's going on and how you feel. Voice your opinion and continue to do so. Hey, listen, we got another 1,448 days, another 205 weeks. We got another 47, less than 47 months. I'm counting this bitch down, and I know you are too. And we got to get in this fight. We got to stick to this fight. They're trying to purge our social media. That's why I got to get Long over here. I would love to say these things on Tickety Tockety and some of the others, but they're afraid. They're afraid. You got Mark Zuckerberg bowing down to Elon while he's doing Nazi salutes. How does that feel to you, Jews? I know you mad. You got the village people out there singing for the inauguration. I know the LGBTQ community is too pissed. Just like the black community pissed at Snoop Dogg out of all three, Nelly and Soulja Boy and whatever. But Snoop Dogg, the most famous rapper in the world, who said, fuck Donald Trump, who said, anybody that fucks with me, I don't fuck with him, and here you go fucking with him. How the mighty have turned. That's okay. Just like every black person it does, you know, there always a case where as soon as they turn on us, just like you got Omarosa trying to get respect back from the black community, there'll be other ones. There'll be a whole bunch. Candace Owens will be back. All these other artists will be back because that's what happens. They go run to the other side, shit on their people, and then those people they shit on for come back, slap the shit out of them, then they come running back to black people. And my Arab brothers and sisters, how's it feel to know that Palestine is dead? It's dead. It's over. Those of you who voted for Trump, or those of you who didn't even vote for Kamala, that's who I'm talking to. Thank you for the ones that did. I know everybody didn't do that. But yo, how's that feel? Because he just said in the last 24 hours, or let's talk in the last week what he's done. He's trying to move the Palestinians to Egypt and Jordan. Egypt and Jordan say, fuck you, no. But he's trying to move them somewhere. Just like he's moving people, he's deporting out the country to El Salvador and Guantanamo Bay. Now he's trying to deport people from other people's countries. You want to talk about some white arrogance? Yeah. This is what's happening. This is what's really happening. And you killed Palestine because you showed, all of you protesters who showed up to Kamala's rally but didn't show up to Trump's, all of you black people remember this shit. We remember this shit. We looking at you. We remember this shit. Or as we say in Chicago here, Arabs, hey, listen here. We remember this shit. Real talk. Because you just fucked that country. It's over. You can get out in these streets and protest. Look, right over here is the Trump Tower. There's the Trump Tower, right? They got people protesting it. Oh, we're mad. And black folks are looking at them. Notice nobody's in that protest that's black. You're African American. We're looking like, bitch, you blew it. If you really want to get behind something, get up to your 2 senators and House of Representatives, because you blew it. You can very clearly see, I don't know why you fighting for them over there when he clearly don't even like the ones here. Mic drop. Hey, real talk. That's what we're dealing with right now. But we're fighting back on these fronts through the courts, whether it be the federal judges or whether it be the AGs or the governors or the American Civil Liberties. We're fighting. Stay strong, no clear, follow me here. Especially if TikTok go away, but definitely follow me here in general. Because I feel like on YouTube I can say what the fuck I want, at least mostly what the fuck I want. They're a little more liberal, a lot more liberal than TikTok. So I wanted to give you a follow-up, and I'm telling all my other social medias, go over there and check out what I said right here. Stay strong. We got federal judges, governors, attorney generals, independent organizations like the ACLU and the unions, like the ones with the Treasury employments who are suing, who are fighting. We got our local county presidents and our mayors in our cities, even in red cities, which the majority of these red cities, are in fact blue, red states, excuse me. The majority of these red states have blue cities, like I pointed out with Texas and Florida. We're fighting back. We're going to win this. Stay strong. Follow me for more.